What is going on, guys? We're back with some more Dragon Ball's Dokkan Battle videos here on the global version, guys. We're a couple of hours away from the World Tournament, so I thought, why not drop a video explaining or giving you guys an example of what I want to say the top 3 most optimal World Tournament teams are currently in global. There are a lot of variations you can do depending on the cards you have, because you may not have the most optimal cards. The most optimal World Tournament card we know is going to be LR Broly. Not everyone has him, so if you don't have him, I'll give examples of other variations of team that you can use to run to give yourself a competitive advantage. So first team, I'm going to go in the order of, I guess, the best to worst, I would say. There's, like I said, there's several variations. In terms of the best, this is, in my opinion, the best. Now, it's not this one. It's actually this one. Now, if you have LR Broly, you definitely want to be using him in the World Tournament because his AoE is his 12k super, and he launched that twice. So he'll AoE twice, so you can run 20-time difficulty and KO the entire field easily. Now, you can actually run him as a lead for the additional HP, attack, and defense, because 90% is pretty substantial. And these days, bosses, well, not bosses, but the World Tournament opponents on 20-time difficulty hits significantly harder than the previous, like, 1 times that we used to have way back in the day. So these days, they don't dick around the damage. They will one-shot you if they hit you correctly. So you kind of need the HP and defense. The attack, and not really so much, but the HP and defense will definitely be very clutch. So we do have Broly here. You kind of want to run kind of heavy prepare battle, not heavy prepare battle, but you want to run some prepare battle units to link with Broly, and also maybe an orb changer, which is why we have the Goten here. This Goten does change orbs. It needs to Dokkan Awaken him. He does Dokkan, but he doesn't need to be Dokkan because it's still changing orbs as is like this. Like his Dokkan just gives him additional 30% attack, which is irrelevant to the World Tournament, so you don't need to Dokkan him to use him. So he does change physical to Rainbow, which is very clutch because Rainbow is going to create pots for the units to get super attacks off. So if you have a bunch of random orbs all over the place and you have a unit that can change specific orb into Rainbow, then that can create a path which will allow your other units to super. So that's going to be very clutch. So Goten, I want to say he's kind of a staple because you only get 1 leadership buff. You don't get the friend leadership buff on the World Tournament. So having an orb changer is pretty clutch. If you don't have that, you're going to have to bring items such as item changing AGL to SCR. Or Tree of Might items, something to increase the key. Because if you don't have an orb changer, you pretty much will find a situation where you don't have like proper orb alignment, so you might actually screw yourself there. So it might be very heavy item dependent if you don't have an orb changer. So I do recommend them in this case. Very nice. Super Saiyan 4 Goku, just want to bring support for Broly, prepare for battle, and he does hit hard as well, and his defense is pretty high as well, so he can, he can tank kinda a little bit. He only has the 1 leadership buff, so his defense is going to be as high as it could be, but he's there, and he can get additionals and everything. Vegeta here is to tank because once again, those guys at level 20 difficulty, which is where I'm going to be running, will hit very hard, so you want at least 1 to 2 tanks on the team to mitigate damage. He doesn't do anything else besides tank. And 7 turns in the World Tournament, this is like, he'll pretty much he'll always have passive. Like, you'll never meet 7 turns like you get kicked out of the a World Tournament boss phase or a fighting phase every 3 turns anyway, so you'll always have pass, so you can take a super attack, you can take any kind of damage, fine. Omega Shenron, once again, to mitigate damage, he does reduce 30% attack on the opponent, so and he also has high defense, so that's going to come in clutch as well. So he's here for his passive and also because he can somewhat tank as well. And God Goku, you can fit in one here, but I just want another unit with prepared battle to link with Broly. Because if you don't have a key supporter that can provide key to Broly, being like 2 or 3 key as a passive, which for STR currently we don't really have one of those that are too viable, or I don't really have them in my box. So the next best thing is to have a unit that's going to share links. This guy shares links with everyone. Shocking Speed, Super Saiyan 4, and also Mega. Over the Flash, Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta, and also prepared battle being Broly, and also Super Saiyan 4 Goku as well. But Broly is a big support, so everyone here supports Broly some way. Goten's going to change orbs, Vegeta's going to tank, so Broly doesn't have to. Super Saiyan 4 Goku, Super Saiyan God Goku prepare for battle. Mega's going to mitigate damage, so if we get super hit, it's not going to be that hard. So everyone here is very nice, and they work very well together. Now, I would say the next best World Tournament team, if you don't have this specific setup, is going to be this here. This is the very OG way. The way I used to run the World Tournament, I used to decimate with this team. This is like the go-to formation because you couldn't lose. So we have the nuking method. God Goku, you run him as a leader because for every tech orb obtained by tech character, you get 33 attack up, and you're gonna be nuking with this guy Majin Vegeta. I don't have him at SA10, but you don't need to have an SA10 if you were using this method, because like if you get enough orbs, you know, he's gonna hit ridiculously hard. So if he's at SA10, then that's even better. But you don't need it, you really don't need it. So this team doesn't really link up well at all, to be honest. Like links are like all over the place. We have some shocking speeds, some prepared file. We have like one over and flash that's like not even relevant. That doesn't matter. Everyone here in the team supports Majin Vegeta, okay? Frieza tanks, Janemba tanks. Goten here, who I should awaken into his Gotenks form, he changes orbs, so changes AGL to Rainbow, and this guy changes Rainbow to Tech. So you kind of want to create a formation, a rotation where they can kind of link up, because if Goten's in the first slot, this guy's in the second slot, Goten's going to change part of the field to Rainbow, this guy's going to change part of the field to Tech. So there might be situations where you don't have to use a lot of items, because this method is very item heavy. You need to use a lot of items to change the field, to change, you know, orbs to green, you know, so he can get his 33 attack up. Whereas if you use certain orb changers, then that wouldn't be a thing. You know, Super Vegeta, Janemba, and Frieza fulfill the same purpose. They're all here to tank. I don't care about the counters. I don't care about, you know, them doing damage. They're here to tank. Now, if you don't want to run 3 tanks, then you can actually change. I want to say maybe Golden Frieza, because he has that passive to where you need to be above 50%. You can change him for maybe another orb changer like Bardock. Bardock, what does he do? He changes STR to Tech, so you can run another orb changer. That way you don't have to use as many items as well, so you can actually play around the team a little bit with that last slot. You can run another orb changer like this, or you can run another tank. I like the tanky method because I don't use the items anywhere else other than the World Tournament, so I might as well use them while I do the World Tournament, because outside the World Tournament I never use them, so why not? So that's the second best team. The third best, which isn't, it works but is very difficult, is actually this team if you have LR Majin Vegeta. Now I know the majority of you don't, so in this situation you could actually put the Tech Majin Vegeta here. And our reason being is because you have Goku Black and also base form. Yeah, Goku Black and also Rose are providing 3k as a passive. You also have Android 13 here changing orbs, so they would actually create a lot of orbs for Majin Vegeta, either one. But since I have the LR, I'm going to talk about the LR Majin Vegeta. Keep in mind, this is the best case scenario. If you don't have these units, then you're going to have to play around certain other units that you have. All depends what you have in your box, of course, but talking about the best scenario, the best perfect team, this is probably one of the better setups you can use if you have LR Majin Vegeta. He doesn't link up with anyone here with Ki, unfortunately, but because of Rose and Goku Black providing 3k as a passive to extreme units, that's going to help him out. And you also get 3 Ki as a leadership ability, so he's going to start with 6 Ki. The thing about that is that this guy needs to get his 18 Ki super to do an AoE, so that sucks. So I brought Android 13 here as an orb changer. Changes Tech orbs to Rainbow, is going to create paths for Vegeta to get to attempt to get his 18 Ki off. This here, you're also going to have to use items. You're going to have to use items because it doesn't matter what you do, what you bring, who you link up with him, he will always need a lot of orbs because this man needs 18 Ki, whereas Broly only needs 12 Ki. So Broly is the best team because he supers twice at 12 Ki, being his AoE supers, 2 AoE supers, guaranteed to kill the entire field. This guy is a pain in the ass to get a super, which is why he's in the 3rd slot of the best team, because it's not very consistent. Like, you're not going to be able to get his AoE all the time unless you're consistently changing the entire field to, you know, specific types so you can get all the orbs. You can run orb changes as well, but in terms of extreme villains, I guess we have that, you know, we have some androids, I guess. Where's an android? I think she changes orbs. She changes physical to AGL, so that might actually be a bit better. So I guess if you want to kind of take off a tank, you can take off Omega, because you have him here to tank, but I guess, you know, you can kind of get away with that and run another orb chain that would actually assist Vegeta. And this android, once again, will change orbs to AGL, which is kind of what Vegeta need. So she's going to change orbs from physical to AGL. Android 18 is going to change, is it Tech? Tech to Rainbow. So this wouldn't help the Tech Vegeta because you want the Tech Majin Vegeta to get Tech orbs because you want to get as much Ki as possible to get his super off, right? But in case of LR Vegeta, this works very, very well. Now, if you had an orb changer that can actually change orbs to physical, and then Android 18 comes around to change the physical orbs to AGL, that would be very clutch. Maybe maybe the physical Android 13. Sorry, no, the physical Android 17. I think I actually bobbed him, so I don't even have him. I probably, yeah, I bobbed him. I hate the Android so much. I just bobbed it in Bobby Shop. Wow, I have another one. Oh, that's kind of surprising. Okay, there we go. Wow, I thought I bobbed him. I must have kept copies. So, not a bad combo. So you're gonna have this guy changing tech to physical, and also her changing physical to AGL, which is going to give a lot of key to Majin Vegeta because he requires AGL orbs to get 2 key per orb. That is because AGL to AGL, of course. The thing is that this also isn't very consistent because you're going to have to keep the 2 of them in one rotation to always be able to make that happen, because you need to have them both coming at the same time, and then you need Vegeta on the other end. So somewhat still item heavy because you might have to go such, you might have to use King Yama's. You might have to still change the orb, or you might have to use Tree of the Fruit of Might or whatever. So it can work, yes. And you still have the 3K of the passive between Rose and also Goku Black. Once again, it can work, but still very item heavy and still somewhat inconsistent. So I would definitely rate this number 1 because Broly Super's at 12 key. He has Perfect Battle. You have an orb changer like Goten, works very well. He has a pretty big leadership buff that he's going to gain because, 90% is amazing. So this is probably the best World Tournament setup you can run, guys. Number 2 is going to be this. Very item heavy. You're going to use a lot of Sensu Beans, a lot of King Yamas. You're going to use a lot of Orb Changer items, which is still fine with me. You have some tanks here that you can play around with. You can swap with the Bardock or the Goten for, Golden Frieza or someone else if you want to, tank better, I would say. And then this is the, the least impressive team, but still very viable because the LR Vegeta, if he gets off a super, is going to kill the entire field. Although he doesn't super twice, he hits very hard. Like my guy's supering with the AoE does 1,000,000 each. So he's going to definitely knock out the field. I'm pretty confident in saying that. My guy here, SA10, he does a lot of damage, guys. So that's my, best top 3 World Tournament teams. I know everyone doesn't have these units. If you don't have these units, then try to take out the units that you don't have and put units that are still relevant in terms of having the same passive or the same abilities in their place. So if you don't have the Android 13, well, sorry, if you don't have one of the Androids here, you can put an Android 13. If you don't have Android 13, find another villain that can fit the place of one of these units that change orbs. Too bad we don't have the SR Super 17s. They would actually be very clutch. But anyways, guys, so that's my top 3 World Tournament teams that you can build. So I hope this helped you out. Once again, I know everyone doesn't have the units. I know, guys. So once again, you're gonna have to see what you have in your own box. You have to play around with certain units to see, okay, well, who can I replace? Who can I add? What can I do? You can even replace the LR Bully with the STR Bully. You're just gonna have to run Omega as a leader. So once again, certain things you can do, but you're gonna have to figure that out by looking at your own team, seeing what you have. I'm just trying to give you guys the optimal set of the best case scenario. Like if you have every card, then check this team out, right? So anyways, guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Please like, share, comment down below, guys. Please check me out on Twitter at @IMuscle. And yeah, guys, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.